Some towns aren't on the map for a reason. And if you find one, it's already too late. After driving aimlessly for over an hour, the road opened into a clearing. A small, forgotten town appeared ahead. The buildings were old and decrepit, their paint peeling and windows shattered. A rusted sign at the entrance read, "Welcome to Ashbrook. Population, 217. Lisa leaned forward. This place doesn't even look real. Mark parked in front of a dilapidated general store. The air felt heavy, thick with an unnatural stillness. No birds, no wind, just silence. Let's see if anyone's here, Mark suggested. Reluctantly, the group got out of the car. The gravel crunched underfoot as they walked toward the store. Inside, the shelves were empty, coated in layers of dust. An ancient cash register sat on the counter, its drawer hanging open. Emily found a newspaper lying on the floor. She picked it up and frowned. This can't be right. It's dated October 13, 1953. Suddenly, slow, deliberate footsteps echoed from upstairs. Mark called out, "Hello? Is someone there?" No answer. The footsteps stopped. "Let's just go," Lisa whispered, her voice shaking. It started as the perfect road trip. Mark, a photographer eager to capture fall foliage, planned a weekend getaway to the mountains with his girlfriend Emily and their friends, Sam and Lisa. The SUV was packed with gear, snacks, and music playlists. They set off early, the morning sun filtering through the golden leaves of the forest. The GPS guided them through winding country roads, surrounded by towering trees. Emily, in the passenger seat, admired the scenery. "This feels like a postcard," she said. Mark smiled. "Just wait until we get to the mountain trails. The views will blow your mind." About halfway through the trip, the GPS dinged and rerouted them to a new road, shorter route available. Estimated arrival, 2 hours. "Shortcut?" Sam asked from the back seat. Mark shrugged. "Might as well. We'll save some time." As they turned onto the unmarked road, the forest seemed to change. The trees grew taller, the canopy darker, blocking out the sunlight. The road narrowed until it was barely wide enough for the SUV. Emily glanced at the screen. Mark? There's no cell service." Mark laughed nervously. "It's fine. GPS is still working." But minutes later, the screen froze. Then it flickered and went blank. Outside, the group noticed a man standing at the edge of the town. He was motionless, watching them. His clothes were old and tattered, his face pale and expressionless. "Who is that?" Emily whispered. Mark approached cautiously. "Excuse me. Do you know how we can get back to the main road?" The man didn't move. Then, without warning, he raised a hand and pointed behind them. His voice was low and gravelly, "Leave. Before it finds you." "What finds us?" Sam asked. But the man turned and walked away, disappearing into the mist. Back at the car, Mark turned the key. The engine sputtered but wouldn't start. "No, no, no," he muttered, trying again. The headlights flickered, and then the car went completely dark. With no choice, the group decided to explore the town, hoping to find another vehicle or someone who could help. The town felt wrong. Symbols were etched into the buildings, spirals, eyes, and strange runes they couldn't decipher. Emily took a photo, but her phone glitched, the screen freezing on a distorted image. At the center of town stood a church, its doors ajar. They hesitated but decided to go in. Inside, the air was colder. The walls were covered in the same symbols they'd seen outside. At the altar stood an ornate mirror, taller than any of them, framed in blackened wood carved with intricate patterns. Emily approached the mirror, drawn to it. Her reflection wavered, distorted as if the glass was liquid. What is this?" she whispered. Mark stared, his breath catching. Behind Emily's reflection, a shadow moved, a tall, thin figure with glowing eyes. He spun around, but nothing was there. "Let's get out of here," Lisa said, her voice trembling. As they turned to leave, the church door slammed shut. Whispers started, soft at first, then louder. They echoed through the church, calling their names. Emily, Mark, Sam, Lisa. The mirror began to glow, the reflections inside twisting and shifting. Their own faces stared back at them, but with hollow eyes and sinister smiles. Dark, inky hands reached out from the glass, grabbing Sam by the arm. He screamed, struggling, but the hands dragged him in. "Sam!" Emily cried, reaching for him. But it was too late. He was gone. The mirror rippled, and Sam's reflection reappeared, twisted, grinning, and staring at them. "We have to get out of here," Mark shouted. The group fled, the whispers following them. They ran back to the car, relieved to find the headlights on and the engine running. They jumped in, and Mark floored the gas pedal. As they sped away, the town disappeared into the mist. "We made it," Lisa whispered, tears streaming down her face. But after driving for what felt like hours, they saw a sign up ahead. "Welcome to Ashbrook." "No," Emily whispered. We left. Mark checked the dashboard. The clock read 12 o'clock, just as it had when they first arrived. Emily's phone buzzed. She looked down to see the date, October 13, 1953. The car sputtered and died. Figures emerged from the mist, hollow-eyed townsfolk, their faces twisted into grotesque smiles. As they surrounded the car, Mark looked into the rearview mirror. His own reflection stared back, its eyes empty and its mouth curled into a grin. Some places don't want you to leave. And Ashbrook always finds a way to keep you.